We have no technical
Looks good. No technical difficulties.
Welcome back to BS Sports Talk.
Welcome back.
We are live. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hope everybody's week in fantasy went well.
Not like me. Have 3 quarterbacks. You start the one that doesn't score almost 50 points. So.
Yeah, I made the mistake of starting Cam Newton negative 2.2.
That one hurts. I mean, that does hurt.
It cost me a game, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. What do you think you're going to do with him? What do you think? You think it was just a bad game because they didn't practice and all that weren't on the field? Or do you think Cam got exposed a little bit? Do you think it was all too good to be true?
I think Cam got exposed. I think Cam Newton just looked bad. I mean, but there is no offensive weapons on that team. What's up, Jamie? I saw we got a like out of Jamie.
Ooh,
there he is. What's up, Mr. Tackett? How you doing?
JT.
About to bring him on camera.
Yeah, just click it. How funny would it be if you could click it and they have to accept it? It just pops up.
I wonder if that would work. I'm about to just see.
It'd be so
Brandon,
good.
I'm doing it to you.
Yeah. You're just sitting there watching all of a sudden. It's like, oh, I'm on screen.
But no, I think Cam Newton got a little bit exposed. I do. Yeah. I think he had a...
It's so crazy to think about. Like, we're talking about the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, just not looking good. Especially that offense. Like, how many years has it been? Every year that Tom Brady was there, it's like, yeah, offense is great.
I feel like Belichick's catching up to Belichick.
Yeah.
All these years of I can plug anybody in and they do well, it's like, ooh, maybe it was I got Tom Brady, so I can plug anybody around Tom Brady and he can make them look better.
I think that's true. Yeah, I think the quarterback position is the hardest position in football to replace.
Yep.
Like, it's so tough. Like, you just can't be like, oh, well, I have, like you said, Tom Brady, and oh yeah, Cam Newton will come in and be fine. Like, it's the quarterback changes your team and your offensive dynamics so much.
Yep.
It's
especially one like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Well, even both ways. Like I said, with him going to a new offense
Yep.
as well and kind of struggling a little bit there at first.
Now him and Gronk are rolling.
And you got AB who's coming in, going to be even, add another weapon to the mix.
And if there's any quarterback, in my opinion, that can handle all of it, it's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady can handle the attitudes, the personalities, the drama. Tom Brady is the man to handle that whole situation. I mean,
what I love it is that I think he realizes that, which is why I think he attached to AB so much. Because he's like, man, this guy has problems, but the talent is there. He's like, if anybody can rein this guy in, like you're going to get. And the way his contract was structured, it's all like incentive based.
It reminds me of watching The Last Dance. Shout out to my Bulls. Shout out to the GOAT right there.
Move my head.
When Dennis Rodman's on that Bulls team and no one else can control him, they can't rein him in, so what do? You put him with the best player in the world. You put him in with a guy who, you don't care what you do, it's a win now mentality. That's just what it is.
Yeah. So. And it's something about, I think, that top echelon guy who demands excellence from you. Like, they'll accept nothing less. Guys who are at the top of the game. I said Tom Brady, NFL version of.
What's up, JC? Absolutely. That's a fair comparison. Michael Jordan is the NFL version of Tom Brady.
Yeah, like there's a whole class of guys who are really, really good, and then you kind of have that guy who's a step above everybody else. I feel like that's Tom Brady.
Absolutely. Like you can bring whatever you want around him, he'll find a way to make them better.
As long as you let him, which I think Arians is finally figuring out. Let him do it his way.
Yes.
You have a player like that, you can't let your own ego come in and be like, oh, the rest of the team isn't going to fit. No, it is. It's Tom Brady's offense now. It isn't Bruce Arians' offense.
Could we switch?
We'll switch sides.
I mean,
put my hat down here. Love it.
We switched it up today, JC. I apologize.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring a new dynamic to the show. we did. We wanted to shake this thing up a bit.
Yeah, shake it up. Anybody else on? Who's on?
Right now we have JC. I don't know if Daddy's at. I don't know. He's probably somewhere hating.
Hating?
Yeah.
Come on.
But going back to that, I think that was kind of the problem with last year Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. Is Matt LaFleur was like, oh, this is my system. And Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm Aaron Rodgers. And like if you take this year, for example, Aaron Rodgers has pretended not to hear his play calls in his head, like in the helmet. Like he has pretended not to hear him. He's like,
what a great excuse. I
right,
couldn't hear it.
This year, ain't that, you know what I mean? Like, how can you make that excuse? But I think they're finally learning to gel together. So,
yeah, I think that's the whole point is that you have to. There has to be a consensus on both sides. Like
right.
It's like, all right, yes, you have involvement. You're calling some plays. Blah blah blah. You have your good ideas. I have my ideas. Let's put them together.
Correct. Yep.
And create the best situation we can for this offense instead of being like, no, you're going to bend to me or vice versa. So yeah, I dig it. So what do you want to do? You want to get into the weekend?
Let's just jump into the recap.
Week 7 recap.
We got 4 here now. That's what's up.
Ooh, there you go.
We'll start right at the top, man. What about that Washington football team?
Woo!
Destroying them Dallas Cowgirls.
But is it really that hard to do?
Hey, now. I take my victories where I get them. Look, actually, it's not a victory. It's not. The fact that we beat Dallas hurts my feelings because I want us to have a good draft pick. Look, we're done with Haskins. I get it. We're not a great team. So, tank for Fields. Tank for Lawrence. Stop winning games.
Stop winning.
I feel like we should have to take an L during this bye week just to give me an extra loss for winning against Cowboys. But otherwise, Antonio Gibson broke out.
Woo! Good. Again against Dallas, but 128 yards, 6.4 yards per carry and a touchdown. The most interesting thing, I think the biggest draw of Antonio Gibson was his receiving ability.
He had one target.
Being drafted, had one target. Didn't even get that reception. So it's I don't know, man. NFL teams this year, especially with running backs, have just completely perplexed me. You got guys who are like we even saw with Eckler the one game where it's like he is the receiving back, and they ran him like 25 times, and he had like 2 targets. It's like, what is happening?
So, mentioning running backs, what do you think of what the situation with Zeke?
Oh man, I don't know. It's just bad.
There's Mr. Daddy.
I
messaged him and said we were trashing the Bengals, which we haven't talked about.
We haven't talked about the Bengals yet.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but we're on Zeke.
We are on Zeke.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
A couple
it
things.
Could be just a part of just pure team culture and situation. Right. It's like you're the best player on the worst team. You know, it's tough to operate at a very high level whenever everyone else around you is not performing at that same level.
I think the problem, though, for me is when I watch Zeke, he doesn't run hungry. Like, you feed him more. Well, what are we feeding you? Loss of yard carries? Like,
giving you the ball so you can fumble
it? He just doesn't. He's not running like he used to. He's not running as hard as he used to. He's just. It's almost like he's out there. He got his $90 million contract and he's done.
Well, that could be a big part of it.
Yeah, you got paid.
Yeah, you see it a lot. That's something you kind of notice in like baseball as well. That's a big sport that I follow. That you see where guys get that big long contract and then they're like, you know what, I'm good. Like, I'm going to make $120 million in the next 4 years. You know, and a lot of that's guaranteed. Just like even if I do terrible, $60 million is guaranteed. Like, I don't got to go out here and kill myself. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing, like, looking at Zeke, he had 12 carries, 45 yards. He had 1 target. He had 2 targets, 1 catch, 6 yards. His other target, he drops. It was thrown behind him. He drops and gets picked off. Zeke's just isn't. I don't know. You are the best player. You're a $90 million man. Christian McCaffrey was on a horrible team last year and put up one of the best stats lines ever for a running back because he found ways to contribute.
I think 2 major differences in character there. Like I said, I've always loved Zeke.
I love Zeke as a player. Yeah,
I like his talent level. Obviously, played for Ohio State. Big Ohio State fan. But man, just ever since he's been with Dallas, signed the contract, I feel like it's the success is kind of getting to Zeke's head. I feel like Zeke is Zeke's worst enemy. That guy, I feel like if you had a more humble attitude, a more team-oriented approach.
I feel like if Zeke had a better team structure around him, because in my opinion, Dallas contributes to that behavior.
I agree.
That attitude, that feeling, that I'm bigger than the team because I play for the Dallas Cowboys, where I'm bigger than the sport in general.
Yeah. I think that's why he flourished so well in Ohio State's system. Because like I said, it's more team-oriented. There's a lot of structure there. Than Dallas, it's more like, well, I'm me. I'm going to get mine, and everybody else kind of whatever.
And I didn't like it when they hired Mike McCartney for him.
Right.
I'm not big on him. He won one Super Bowl because of Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I'm not a big Mike McCartney guy. Mike
Craig.
McCarthy.
Craig's here.
What's up, Mr. Craig? I.O. Randy Deddy's here. How you doing, RD? The
There you
real Deddy's
go.
in the house.
The real Daddy's in the house.
But
What's up?
But for me, with Zeke, because right now, like I do think you obviously start Zeke every single week. You have no other option.
Yeah, I mean, he's a must start.
The only, especially them going to a rookie quarterback this week, I feel like they're going to lean heavily on Zeke. They play Philly, but Philly has a good defense. No, Philly plays the Giants. Who do the Cowgirls play this week?
Cowgirls.
Let me look.
Who you got? They play Philly.
They do play Philly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
8-20.
So they play Philly this week. I think it's a tough
On
matchup. Yep. Late night game. They're still prime time.
I think it's going to be tough for him
How is that game
anyway.
prime time? Yep.
Like you say, because now, especially with third option rookie quarterback,
Yep.
I mean, they're not going to be able to throw the ball down the field unless this kid turns out to be a stud because they have the weapons, with those receivers.
What?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Your opinion.
Yeah.
There's only two starters that you can play off the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think you can play CeeDee Lamb. I don't think you can even play Michael Gallup.
I would
think
agree.
Amari Cooper and Zeke are the only two guys currently you can start on that offense. What do you think?
I would say for sure. I'd say to be comfortable with it, yeah.
I hope-
mean, maybe CeeDee Lamb.
Right. I hope you
If your
sold
team-
high
yeah.
on CD.
Yeah, maybe if your team is really thin and you need a flex spot, you could put him in. Or if you have a league where you have two flex spots, he might sneak into that
Yeah.
second flex spot. But I wouldn't be super comfortable. I think there's still potential just with his athletic ability to
Yep.
throw a big game. But I think it's very boom or bust.
I
And
agree.
I think the ceiling could be high, but the floor could be really
Right.
low.
Now, with the Cowboys, their whole offensive line is out. Zach Martin comes back this week. He is the only starter that will be on the team that will be playing. It's kind of horrible for Zeke because he is. This is my other problem. Dak was taking the heat when they were losing.
Hey, Justin Brewster's on.
How's it
What's up,
going?
man?
Zeke is taking the heat now.
Yeah.
Zeke is taking the heat now because he's the $90 million man.
Well, I mean,
He's the
yeah.
top 5 running back. You expect better than your longest run of the day.
He's the
12
guy,
yards.
that you would expect to.
Yep.
He has to step up for them to be even
Absolutely.
semi-valuable. But this is his time to shine.
Yep.
And now it's kind of like he's rescinding back a little bit.
I
So it's unfortunate to see.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Last thing for me with Dallas, I think it's very unfortunate how bad Andy Dalton struggled.
yeah.
I will be honest, that is something I didn't see happening. I didn't think Andy
Well,
Dalton was going to play that bad.
I mean, that's true, but you got to think he's kind of. I mean, it's his first
Yeah.
real playing time with a brand new team.
Right.
And the only other team he's ever played with. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
first experience, like you talked about, it's very tough to plug and play with a quarterback.
Right.
Like a running back, cool. You can
Right.
have a great running back here, throw him into another system a week or two,
Yep.
call some easy run plays he can produce. But a quarterback is tough, especially building that relationship with how guys
Right.
move. Rarely things ever go
Right.
the way they should. So if you get a heavy blitz, maybe a guy should change his route to something. You don't know
Yep.
what he's going to stop.
You don't have that rapport that he had with AJ
Exactly.
Green, with Eifert. And those
So I
guys.
think there's potential there, but of course then
Right.
he got injured.
Tough game too. Washington football team
Yeah.
quietly has a great defense, a
Yeah.
really good defense going on. The pass rush, like when you watch that game, Chase Young, Montez Sweat off the edge
Yeah.
is like the speed coming off the edge.
Tough to
Like
deal
at
with.
one point, he was getting less than a 2.3 seconds of drop back.
And that's tough for anybody.
Like that's not even a 3-step drop. Yeah,
Whenever you get 2 seconds
yeah.
to throw the ball,
And
that's
unfortunately,
that's rough.
Guys just weren't open. Like
Yeah.
it just. But enough for the Cowboys. Washington football team quit winning, like Justin Fields.
Keep it up.
Chiefs stumped the Broncos. Didn't kind of expected that.
Yeah.
Elaire 8 carries, 46 yards. That's yeah. Don't like those.
Yeah.
You're up
Well-
huge. The weather.
Yeah, I mean, weather played a
There's a
part in it.
blizzard.
And it's just, I mean, with the Chiefs, I mean, you just never know with the Chiefs
Yep.
offense. I mean, there's so many different options they can go with. Pass it.
Yep.
They have 5 different guys who can run it from like the wide receiver position. Mahomes can. I mean, it's just tough. Le'Veon Bell, that's something we touch on there. People
Yeah.
kind of thinking that he was going to come in and be a stud. Some people. I don't know. I still don't see it. I mean, we didn't see it week 1. There could be. I mean, it's his first technical game with the team. I still just don't
Yeah.
know if Le'Veon Bell becomes a solid, relevant fantasy football player.
See, and I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I think he becomes Elaire had 8 carries. Le'Veon Bell had 6. Le'Veon Bell had 6 for 39. Elaire had 8 for 46. Le'Veon Bell averaged 6.5 a carry. That's impressive. Now
he also got those later. Or when did he get those carries?
He was getting them. Yeah. I mean, they were fluctuating a little bit in and out.
In between? I didn't have a chance to watch it.
But then if you looked at the game though, Patrick Mahomes only had 200 yards passing.
Right.
So they weren't clicking. They didn't have a need to score because their defense and special teams were killing them.
That was a big thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, gee whiz, scoring off defense,
Picks,
all the turnovers.
special teams. Yep.
It's like, man.
Their leading receiver last week for Kansas City was 2 catches for 57 yards by Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a day that the offense really didn't have to do much, and you factor the weather in.
Yep. No bright spots for Denver. Philip Lindsay went out with a concussion. I mean, he was having a decent game, but he ended up with 9 carries, 79 yards. The pop, he's better than Melvin Gordon.
I agree
in that offense.
Yeah,
in general, if he stays healthy.
Yeah, if you give me straight up side by side, as an NFL, coach or offensive coordinator, and you give me Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay side by side, I'm taking Philip Lindsay.
Absolutely.
I mean, dude runs. He has the speed and surprisingly with the power as well. I really like the way that he finishes.
I wish he would stay healthy. I think he's a little guy, but Melvin Gordon had 2 fumbles. One of them he was just running and drops it.
Just drops the ball.
He gets stripped, sure, but then that flea flicker. Come on, Melvin. You've been in the league long enough to know how to run a flea flicker. You can't throw it over your quarterback's head. Drew Lock's athletic, but that was rough. That was hard to watch, Melvin Gordon.
What do you think about Arizona beating Seattle in overtime?
What a game! All right, so
I just didn't expect Arizona to be this good. 5-2, beating the Seahawks.
I went to bed. Seattle's up 10 points, 4 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go. I was tired. I was like, "There's no way Russell Wilson's giving this up." And then what happens? Kyler Murray happens. That kid. He's surprising me. I'm not gonna lie. He's surprising me. Early on, I thought he was inaccurate a little bit. Not in the game against Seattle, but just in his career in general.
Yeah.
But man, there's a play, and this just lets me know it's clicking for the quarterback. It's late in the game. DeAndre Hopkins gets one-on-one coverage, no safety help, and you literally just see him smile. And then throw he smiles when he sees it, and then throws the ball for a touchdown strike to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah,
he's just seen it. I mean, then he was the leading rusher for the team too. He had 67 yards and 1 touchdown as the rusher.
He ran 14 times.
Yeah,
as a quarterback. You threw 48 times.
Yeah,
and you ran 14 times. It's safe to say he is the offense.
He had 427 total yards, 4 total touchdowns. Look, man, I can't.
That's like a team offense. He had a team offense, a really good team offense. Like when you're talking about scoring, he 3 for 3, ran for 1.
Yep.
So you're talking about 4 touchdowns, over 400 yards. Look, that's a good day for a team, not a player.
When you go look at Seattle, it's just even the stats for Seattle. Russell Wilson, 388 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw 3 picks. Very Russell Wilson-like. Then you've got, he had 84 rushing yards by Russell Wilson. Crazy. Tyler Lockett had 15 receptions on 20 targets for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's insane.
Way to go for the guy who traded for him in our league. Way to go.
Way to go. What a great decision.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. My gosh, Tyler Lockett.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
I was just watching the game, I went to bed, and I was like, there's no chance. Kyler Murray proved me wrong again. Very impressive. Yeah. Very much enjoyed it.
Another big thing come from that game, Kenyon Drake got injured. Opened it over Chase Edmonds, had 7 receptions, and looked good running the ball. Just from looking at it, to me, I kind of feel like Drake was playing injured. He had that foot issue. He was wearing a walking boot right before the season started.
Yep.
They tried to downplay it, said everything's fine. If something is bad enough to where you have a boot on it, there's something going on.
Absolutely.
There. So, and just with his runs throughout the whole year, he just didn't look as explosive, didn't look like the same Kenyon Drake. And then this injury, they said, could have been, to me, my opinion, it was lingering throughout the season. He just pushed it too far and eventually caught up with him.
I think so. Watching him from this year to last year, he doesn't have the pop that he did.
Right.
I think that he didn't have that burst. He didn't have that. He just didn't have what he had last year bringing to the table. And I think it is because he's carrying over that injury a little bit.
Yeah.
I think
Here's an
whatever-
interesting distinction.
Yeah.
BS or not BS, Kenyon Drake is not on the Arizona Cardinals next year.
Not BS. I think he's gone. I
Yeah.
think they'll. Now, I mean, look, he could come back in 2 weeks and blow up. They have a bye week this week.
Yeah.
It actually favors him. They went on a bye because if they would have played a game or two with Chase Edmonds in,
Yeah.
I don't know that Kenyon Drake even gets his job back this year.
Well, we'll see. He said we still don't know for sure
True.
how long Drake is out.
Right. And my fear is, does he try to push himself to try to ensure he doesn't lose it?
Right.
Now, could he stay in Arizona on a bargain deal? He could.
Yeah.
But I easily could see them addressing that in the draft, to be honest. I
Yeah.
could see them wanting to go younger. I could see them wanting to bring in somebody who's more of a pass-catching back than...
And I like Chase Edmonds.
Yeah,
I mean,
Chase
guy's
Edmonds good.
kind of, he's not a small guy. He's a 200-plus pound back.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds, good back.
Yeah, I think he gets kind of counted out a little bit. Always viewed as kind of like the third down passing specialist guy. I mean, he can catch the ball. I mean, that's evident.
Yep.
But he's looked really good running the ball. So, I mean, I don't think that they are in a too bad situation running with Chase Edmonds, especially
Agreed.
like you said, addressing the draft, get a nice young rookie back to
Yep.
pair with him. I like it. I still like that offense.
Yeah, sorry, Kenyon. I think that they gave you enough time to prove what you could do. Now, look, I feel like they stole your goal line touches.
Kyler Murray's tough.
His brothers are solid AF. Who are you talking about, Brandon? I don't know Brandon.
Whose brothers?
Whose brothers?
It is whose brothers?
I do not know.
Oh man, he go Buffalo barely squeaking it out
Oh
against
my
the 0-6 now 0-7 Jets. I mean, how many field goals were there?
What
Is there any way to
was it,
even
6?
see?
Is it 6? I think it was 6.
Oh, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't even know right there.
He went
8
6
field
of 8.
goals.
He took 8 attempts.
You gotta get 8 attempts?
Chases.
Oh,
Chase
man.
Edmonds. Oh, yeah.
brother.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Terrell Edmonds and Tremaine Edmonds. Are they all brothers?
Man. I
Ooh,
don't know.
Brandon throwing out some
Man.
facts here.
But anyway, back to this.
Yes.
Man, it was a game too where we were talking about the whole first half of the season with Josh Allen. Talking about looks like
Yeah.
we're talking about MVP discussions. Last 3 games not too great. Now the previous 2 faced some pretty good defenses. But the Jets, we were kind of expecting him to have the bounce back, especially if he's legit.
Agreed.
Still threw over 300 yards, but no touchdowns, and he had a fumble, I believe. He had 61 yards rushing too.
BS or not BS? Josh Allen doesn't even finish in the top 5 MVP voting this year. After this stretch.
After seeing what I've seen the last 3 games, I'm going to go not BS on that. I feel like he still can be top 10, but I don't know if he's going to be in that top 5 discussion.
Yeah,
especially
I agree.
the way guys who, I mean, obviously you have Rodgers, you have Brady who's starting to turn it on, going to get AB back.
Yeah.
You have Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. I feel like Lamar's going to get his back. Justin
Rodgers.
Herbert has been looking really, really good.
Ooh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, you never know with that. He's a rookie, but man.
Who's your offensive rookie of the year? Is it going to be Justin Herbert or is it going to be Joe Burrow?
Man, that's a tough one too.
Ooh, what do you guys think?
I think it'll probably. Man, that's a good question. I think it'll end up being Justin Herbert just because I feel like he's in a better situation with that offense and the. I don't know. I just feel like that offense has a lot more, especially when Eckler comes back. Gives him another target to throw to.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
So I think Herbert gets it as well.
Yeah.
But I actually think it's because of what he's doing with what I think is less than what Joe Burrow has.
Well, with me, I think it's more like momentum in the team. Like, obviously, they have a way better defense. Like, it's just momentum-wise. Like, it's tough. Like, you would think you're going to get more volume because, obviously, Burrow's going to be relied on more to pass the ball. But you're going to be in a lot more passing situations, you know, 3rd and 16, 3rd and 20, to where defenses can bring that heavy pass rush.
Yep.
They can game plan against your receiver. So I think that's where it hurts him because he's not going to be as more like, man, we're pounding the ball with Mixon, and then we can throw a play action pass where everybody thinks you're going to run the ball.
Yep.
It's like every team knows, like, hey, most of the time we know you're throwing the ball.
Right.
And he's been successful with that. I'm not saying he's not going to be successful.
Right.
I think he's going to have still a really good year.
Right.
And just being able to score the ball. I feel like that the Chargers are going to score the ball more than the Bengals.
So I actually feel like I agree. Justin Herbert will end up being the offensive rookie because they will win more games than Cincinnati does.
Yeah.
Because they have a better defense.
Yeah.
They have a better head coach in Anthony Lynn. I think Anthony Lynn's a better head coach than Zach Taylor. I think, and this is my opinion, because I think actually Joe Burrow has better weapons. I like Tyler Boyd, AJ Green, Alden Tate. Their tight end shaky, but then you got Joe Mixon, who's better, Joe Mixon or Austin Eckler?
I mean, I think it depends.
It
depends
on
what
running back.
It depends on what you want. I think receiver-wise, Eckler obviously is the guy. Running-wise, I give it to Mixon.
Yeah.
To me, so this might be a BS for everybody. I think overall, I still would put it Austin Eckler over Joe Mixon.
So if Cincinnati had a better offensive line, and this is, I guess I can't say the ifs.
Right.
Overall, I like Joe Mixon's talent better.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not talking about team situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, just overall.
Yeah. Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I would say.
But in their
Mixon.
situation, I would go Eckler.
Yeah, in their situation, like for that team, like if I was, even with that, I would say. So with Cincinnati, would I rather have Joe Mixon or Austin Eckler? I'd rather have Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because you're going, that defense is so bad, you have to pass the ball more. I give Eckler the big time receiving edge, but he's still definitely enough of an athlete to carry the ball as well.
So BS or not, Gronk is back.
Oh yeah, Craig Rader.
Before the season started, I bought Gronk. I bought him in almost every league I was in, and then I'm 4 weeks in, and Gronk is poop. And I'm like, dang it, Gronk, because I love Gronk. Gronk is my second favorite tight end of all time. I love that he never conformed to Belichick. I love that he did what he wanted, but he was still a great player.
He has fun with the game.
He plays football to have fun.
Yeah.
Gronk is back. I think Gronk is back.
Yeah.
I think where other people in Tampa have struggled, Gronk has gotten his football legs back. And I think that's what he was missing. And you can tell that's what he's missing is his football legs.
Well, I mean, when you got to think the guy didn't play football for a year.
He
didn't play football for a year, and he was, partying it up. If you look at his Instagram and Twitter, but
and he slimmed down a lot when he left football.
Yeah. So that being said, yes, I feel like he's finally got his legs back. He's viable, but do you think he's going to still get the volume enough to stay like an every week must start tight end, especially with AB coming in the offense? Because I feel like there'll be games where he's going to be consistent, 5, 6, 7 receptions, 60 to 100 yards. But I feel like there's also going to be some games out there to where he might get a couple receptions, 20, 30 yards. So,
and unfortunately, though, I think the only tight ends that I don't think that'll happen to is Kelsey and Kittle.
Right.
Yes, I think Gronk will be a must-start tight end from here on out.
Gotcha.
I think that he actually may be the guy who benefits most from AB coming to town. Because what that's going to do to me is it's going to open up where the safety goes a little bit. Gronk finds Tom's sweet spots, and Tom trusts Gronk more than anybody else on that team.
Yeah.
I think it just took Gronk a minute to get used to carrying the 20 extra pounds he put back on, to get used to playing football in Florida, to get used to just playing football in general.
I mean, that's just, when you think about it. Yeah, and especially with, you didn't have a preseason. So you're not really playing any live games.
Right.
So his first live action is week 1.
Yeah.
Real deal situation. I mean, even when you think about that, it's kind of impressive that even 5, 6, 7 weeks in, he's back after a year off. Brand new offense, I think he's back. I think the talent is there. My question would just be usage going forward.
How can finish top 5? Because right now you got Waller, you have Kelsey, you have Kittle, you have Andrews.
I don't know about top 5. I would call BS on top 5. I would say top 10. I'd say top 10, yes, easily.
I think he goes top 7 this year.
I would be more comfortable with top 7. Yeah. Top 5, I think it's tough just with usage. Again, with those guys, you mentioned Waller, Kelsey.
They're all the number 1 option of the team. Even Mark Andrews.
And they're seeing crazy targets, and that's not going to change.
So we got James Robinson, running back Jags. Look, as much as I try to throw the book out on this guy, Raquel Armstead's not coming back. COVID has hospitalized him twice, I believe it is, this season.
That's the craziest thing.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's the biggest benefit for James Robinson is Raquel Armstead's health. Man, I don't know. I mean, for now, if Raquel Armstead doesn't ever play again, I like him. Same thing with Azigbo. But you have if you get all three of those guys back healthy, I don't know. We'll see. But he's made a strong case.
Yeah.
A strong case for them to not use them. But if how willing are they to be like, sorry, Rock, you were going to be the guy, you were sick, but you're just not going to see the field.
So as much as, like I've been against James Robinson, there is only one running back in fantasy outscoring James Robinson right now in fantasy football. That's Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
That's it. He's outdoing Dalvin Cook. He's outdoing Aaron Jones. He's outdoing Zeke. He's outdoing all these guys.
Right.
Part of it is the Jaguars are bad. He's getting a lot of receiving yards. And now, Gardner Minshew, there's talks he's hurt and could be benched.
Ooh.
Well, it'll be more interesting to see when people, I don't even know who their backup is. Mike Glennon. They have Mike Glennon, and then they have
like
Luton, a rookie named Luton. James Robinson's legit as long as the volume stays where it's at. If it dips at all, or the passing game isn't on point, I think his numbers really drastically fall. Josh Deddy asked Herbert Rookie of the Year. We both actually think he is Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I think he takes over Burrow. I think Burrow finishes close second. But yeah, I would say Herbert.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I just think the situation he's in much better.
Anything else? Well, here's a big one we could talk about. We either touch now or later. I see that.
That is awful. Sorry. Got a trade offer. I just got offered Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers in one of my dynasty leagues for Patrick Mahomes and a first-round pick. What say the viewers? BS or not BS? I'll let you guys call that. Patrick Mahomes and a first-round pick for Cooper Kupp and Cam Akers. Anyways.
Ooh, yeah.
So, back on the projections. Steelers beating the Titans, very impressive. I was actually thoroughly impressed how the Steelers got up early. What impressed me more is how the Titans battled back. I think the Titans are a real deal, man. Really enjoy them.
Here's a great question.
Okay.
Well, how to even put it? Do you think Tom Brady has a chance to finish top 3 fantasy football quarterback this year? With the addition of AB, and with him, looks like he's finding the offense. Had a huge week this past week. I think he's top.
He's like top 5
already right now, top 5. With the addition of AB, Gronk's looking good. Scotty Miller had a huge game.
Yep. Godwin's out. Evans is iffy. Right. Evans is the biggest mystery for me with that team.
Well, part of it, do you think he's 100% healthy where he's dealing with that hamstring injury? It's like, it's hard to tell.
So I guess, though, when I compare hammy injuries, the number one hamstring injury guy in the NFL is Julio Jones, and when he plays, he plays.
Right.
There's never a question of him playing. Now, Mike Evans, man, he don't get targeted, so I don't know if it's the injuries. He just don't get targeted. So right now, Brady's QB5. I think Brady finishes top 3. Yeah. Mahomes hasn't looked fantastic.
There's times, I think, with Mahomes, too, where he just doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Especially with that defense they said with Denver this week, to where he really didn't need to light it up. They were winning well. Absolutely. The weather was there. Meh.
Yeah, I agree.
A couple of short passes here and there.
Yep. Tom Brady.
Basically hold on to the ball. Don't turn off. So, okay, yeah, I dig that. Yep. Brady top 3.
I think so, just because they're going to pass the snot out of the ball.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Man, what do you think staying with that game? Our guy who we keep talking about every week in the running back,
Josh
Poole.
He didn't even lead his team in rushing this week.
Woo! He had 10 carries, 17 yards, 1.7 yards per carry. He was picked to be a top 10 running back last week again. I just don't know why they keep projecting this guy to be a top 10 running back.
Somebody explain it to me.
I just don't. Now, not to say he doesn't have the talent. We've touched on this almost every week, it feels like.
Yeah.
Not to say he doesn't have the talent, but just in that offense, it is not good.
He had 3 catches for 14 yards still yet. It just, John Gruden is just not doing it for him. Yeah.
And it's even where they even said in the offseason, we are going to 100% commit to getting Josh Jacobs the ball more, especially in the passing game. And it just hasn't.
He was the 3rd leading rusher on the team, behind Derek Carr and Jalen Richard.
When Derek Carr has 2 rushes for 19 yards and you finish behind him, that's not good, man. And Jalen Richard.
Josh Jacobs, buddy. Get it together, man. Come on, bud. You can do this. No, you can't. You've shown all year you can't do it. Jesus, man. I don't know what's going on with you. Luckily, I had you twice, traded you twice now. got out of your business, bud. But
how about Nelson Aguilar too, looking like the best
dude,
receiver?
what is that?
107 yards and a touchdown. Of course, Waller's got his.
It's consistent.
Reception.
It's been consistent for Aguilar. He's
I'm kind of happy for him. They
Me
did not
too.
like him in Philly.
They
hated him.
and it didn't matter if he played well because as soon as they had a chance to move on, they moved on.
Yeah, I think it's tough in Philly. Anytime you have one even bad play in Philly, they're like, I see it. Except for Carson Wentz, which I don't understand.
Right? Yeah, like
they stick with him.
No. So, any other games just stick out to you? Just
I don't know. I think that's it. Other than New England getting destroyed, but we kind of already talked about Cam Newton.
Bagger smacked the Texans. Cardinals game was phenomenal. Chargers look good.
Yeah.
Saints. Kudos to Drew Brees. You don't think Burrow rushing for TDs and tossing TDs gives him the edge over Justin? Herbert's running 2.
Yeah, Herbert. When you look at last week's game, rushing had 9 attempts, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
Threw for 347 and 3 touchdowns. He's winning games, not throwing interceptions. I like Joey B. Joey B is nice.
Yeah, I like Joey Burrow, but especially I think that's a strong suit of Justin Herbert. That's coming on even more. Is running the ball.
So let's just do a predict Atlanta or Carolina and score. Okay, Josh. What do you think, Todd? I think it'll be 38-27 Atlanta. Boom. I'm putting eggs in Matt Ryan getting a win this year.
Yeah, I'd be right around there.
I think they can beat Carolina. God, I say that, and the more I say that, the more I just remember every game they blow.
Especially with DJ Moore kind of coming on with the touchdowns of late.
They might get up 38-27 and then lose.
And then lose in the fourth quarter in the last 5 minutes.
So, just going into Justin Herbert, he has 25 rushes, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has 1,500 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 picks. So, and he has 2 fumbles. So let's go look at Joey Burrow. I'm sorry to be doing this to you listeners right now, but fan asked question. I feel like we should do our due diligence on him.
Oh, for sure. I like the comparison, kind of like apples to apples.
Yeah, it's fair. And I'm going to be very interested in doing Tua in a couple weeks, like comparing the 3.
I'm so excited to see what he does.
All right, so Joe Burrow has started longer, has 2,000 yards. He is 3rd in the NFL in passing. Highly impressive.
Yeah.
9 touchdowns, so 3 less than Herbert throwing. 5 interceptions. All right, let's look at rushing, because I know Joey B's got some rushing TDs. So rushing, he's done 32 for 121 and 3 touchdowns. So
Herbert has 2 touchdowns.
So Herbert's got more touchdowns overall.
And has around a little over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
In less games.
And he's only 500 yards, a little bit, like 500 yards below him, but he didn't start a game. Absolutely, I think Joe Burrow wins some games, and then then it's more of a conversation, I think, down the stretch. But he has to stop throwing interceptions.
Which, again, is tough to me, especially asking a rookie, because they're so... He, as opposed situational than Herbert, is going to face so many 3rd and longs, you're passing the ball. That's tough.
Plus, I think Joe Burrow plays better defensive teams. He's got Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Even Cleveland's defense is decent. Yeah. They have weapons. But, look, Joe Burrow's having a phenomenal year. I think he's asked to do a lot. I think Justin Herbert's asked to do a lot. I think that Joe Burrow just has to win a few games. And if Joe Burrow can win a few games and keep on point that way with Herbert, and he doesn't have as many turnovers, I think that he has a chance. But right now, I think Justin Herbert just looks cleaner. Look, you can't go wrong with either one.
No, I think it'd be close either way. But I just feel like Herbert at the end of the year is going to have better stats and more wins.
Correct.
So. I think we go into.
Let's just you want to jump over to the rankings real quick?
Yeah, let's go to rankings. We hit rankings real quick and call it a day.
Yeah. Hey guys.
That AFC North 100.
AFC North is better than the AFC West. I'll give you that. Well, Las Vegas is good. Kansas City's real good.
Josh Jacobs.
Herbert has a much more favorable statistical schedule. I agree.
Yeah.
And he will be asked to score, because look, when he plays Kansas City, he's got to score 30, 40 points again. Las Vegas is, again, I agree. I agree with what you said, Craig. I think the schedule will favor him more. Joey B's getting ready to be going against some tough teams. So, love the questions, guys. Keep them coming. We'll keep answering.
Yeah.
Really enjoy the interaction. You guys are making this fun tonight. Appreciate it. It's fun every night, but it's real. When you guys are interactive, it's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump into these QB rankings, PPR. And if you have any starter sit questions, you have any lineup questions, hit us up, message us. We'll get to you guys.
What was the last one last week? Was it Craig?
It was
asked the
Craig.
question last week.
Hawkinson, Corey Davis, or Henry Ruggs. I think Hawkinson ended up paying off a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Henry Ruggs had like 1 reception for 10 yards, I think.
That might have been a rush.
Might have been a rush even. So anyway, he scored less than 5 points, I believe.
Let me see.
And then
Corey Davis had a decent game. He ended up catching a touchdown. So this is a surprising stat with Corey Davis. Can we get a UFC pound for pound? That was a question from a fan. Maybe here at the end,
we'll switch over to UFC. I dig that.
So let's go. I can't even find either one of those guys in the top 50 rankings. So we're looking for Henry Ruggs, who I don't see. Okay. Corey Davis. Okay. Well, I'm not having any luck finding these guys, and I don't know why.
He stayed with Hawk.
Yeah. Let me go find them. But I think T.J. Hawkinson ended up being the right choice. Ended up having a good game. That touchdown at the end probably saved our projection.
Got it right at the end, but it still counts.
Yeah.
Still counts.
Corey Davis.
Trying to get to him here. 6 receptions, 35 yards, and a touchdown.
So
touchdown.
15 points. Nice.
Yeah, so still not bad. But we said that. It
Yeah.
felt like he had more of.
He gets a higher target percentage than what A.J. Brown does in Tennessee. Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But A.J. Brown only needs 1 catch to really change a game.
We'll try to be moving somebody for him, maybe.
Yeah,
somebody interested in Clyde Edwards-Helaire out there or something for some A.J. Brown. I don't know, man.
I love it. Thank you, Gurley. Absolutely. Matt Ryan told him not to score. And Todd Gurley still scored.
Felt wrong not to score, Coach. Come on.
So, yeah, Henry Ruggs ended up with 6.5 points. So
Hawkinson was good.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's jump into these QB rankings.
Let's go.
Enjoying some delicious Coors Light tonight with you guys.
Gotta love it.
So who stands out for you in these QB rankings? Let's anybody in that top? Is it just I tell you one that's kind of scary for me right off the bat in the top. I don't know if it's scary or if I just want to see if he's 100% healthy again. Is my man Lamar Jackson at number 4 against Pittsburgh?
Oh,
that's a tough matchup.
That is tough. I don't know with that one. I'm going to call BS on that one. I love Lamar Jackson. Well, I know you need it, but I can't call BS or not just if you need it or not. But yeah, I don't think. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know, man. That Pittsburgh defense. I knew too. I even said Henry was going to have less than 100 yards against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And they held him to under that. Still got a touchdown.
Yep.
But anytime you hold Derrick Henry under 100 yards and under
Impressive.
4 freaking touchdowns,
especially on 20 attempts.
Yeah.
Because he still got the ball in. Another quarterback right off bat in the top 5 that I'm like, ooh, man, I don't know, based off of how they've looked recently, is Josh Allen against that New England defense.
I don't like it. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends.
The 49ers scored a lot of points, but Cam Newton turned the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
Negative 2.2 points.
Well, if that offense looks as bad as it did last week, why would he need to score 9 points?
Because Gilmore can shadow Diggs.
Yeah.
I still think Josh Allen has a good statistical week.
Yeah, I think he's good, but I don't know about top 5.
Oh, Erica must be watching. It's about football.
It's about football. But yeah, I don't know. I would call BS on that.
Here's another one right off bat. 4, 5, and 6. I'm questioning. Carson Wentz.
I mean, he is playing Dallas, but at number 6, Carson Wentz. Oh, is that Kane?
Mr. Kane!
Kane Gringo in the house?
Man.
We have to bring Kane on camera.
I know.
Kane, I hope you're ready. I'm
about to hit the button.
I hope you shaved because you're getting on this. You're gonna put him on. You'll be like, what?
Maybe. It ain't working again.
Oh, no.
I tried. He must have got Alfia real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Bring Kane on camera.
I would love it.
Can't bring Kane on camera. He stopped us.
Oh, man. Yeah, look. Yeah, it's great now. Come on, Kane.
All right.
So, back to it. Yeah, Carson Wentz, even though it's against Dallas, I don't like it. I am out on Carson Wentz.
I'm going to say he goes top 10.
Yeah, I mean, top 10.
Because that Dallas defense is so pathetic.
I mean, I think he still threw for 300 yards last week.
Yeah.
But, I don't like him as top 5.
Oh, man. So then you've got...
Or top 6, sorry.
You got Brady at 7 against the Giants. I think he goes top 5.
Yeah, I would say Brady top 5 on that one.
Burrow at 8. Ooh.
Against Tennessee defense. That might be a little high for me. I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, I like me some Joe Burrow, but against that Tennessee defense, and especially his bat, well, I don't know.
I'm
they're
not
going to have to score.
And to be honest, that Tennessee defense hasn't been super sexy this year.
Yeah. I mean, well, you got to think there are, Jesus.
And Clowney's hurt.
Always on the field because the offense scores so much.
So I'm actually not calling BS on Joe Burrow at 8.
Here's an over-under just for running back. I mean, we'll get to running back.
Okay.
The Derrick Henry over-under.
So you got Justin Herbert at 9 against Denver. I
like that.
Not top 10 this week. Denver's defense shows up.
Oh, really?
Patrick Mahomes only had 200 yards.
But like we talked about, though, he didn't really need it. Their defense had so many turnovers.
Yeah.
And the weather. You got to think the weather isn't going to be a factor.
So Craig asked, am I going to regret starting Matt Ryan today? It went off pretty quick tonight. So Matt Ryan tonight, he's ranked QB 12 against Carolina. Here's the thing.
Who else do you have?
Yeah, Craig. Who else do you have? Throw that at us real quick.
Because it just depends on who you have to start in place of him.
But for me, to be honest, Julio's healthy, Calvin Ridley's healthy, Russell Gage is healthy, Hayden Hurst has been nice.
Yeah, he's been coming along.
He's
getting more and more.
And I think Atlanta's competing better with Raheem Morris at head coach than when they were with Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
But let me see what you got. Show us who else you have, Craig, and we'll get back to you.
Herbert's going to kill us. Kane, yeah. I think you just got on. We've been talking about Herbert a lot in this episode. I think the kid's legit. I really like him. I think he does. Yeah, I think he does well. I think he's top 10 this week. I think top 10 against Denver. I'd say even with that defense.
I just don't want him to be.
I like Herbert. I'm in on it until he shows me differently from here on out. I'm gonna be in on him.
Tannehill at 10 against Cincinnati. I feel like that. He has a chance to boom.
Yeah, he
past 10.
Yeah, if you have Tannehill,
I play him against Cincinnati. Well, I got Patrick Mahomes and Tannehill, so
I would start Mahomes.
I start
Mahomes.
Say
so like with Craig there, we're waiting on him to get back. But say if you have Tannehill
or
and Matt Ryan, I'm starting Ryan Tannehill this week.
So oddly enough, where I made my trade for Pat Mahomes, I had Tannehill, Matt Ryan, I had Tannehill going against Cincinnati. I thought and that's even though I have Julio and I could steal a stack. Tannehill against Cincinnati, that secondary is porous. The pass rush isn't there. They just traded Carlos Dunlap.
The defense got even worse.
Do you believe the rumors Atlanta trades Julio Jones? No. Look, if you're a contending team, you're going to have to pay a lot to get him, and he makes a lot of money. But if you're Philadelphia, do you give up a first and a second to get Julio? Because I think it costs that much. Because I don't think he's dipping in his performance. But if
you're going to have to pay the price to get
Yes. So if you're Julio, or if you're the Philly, do you pay it? Not good options. Carr, Jimmy G, Goff might be the best. That is Craig's other quarterbacks over Matt Ryan. I play Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I play Matt Ryan.
Because Goff is playing the Dolphins, but Dolphins have a sneaky good defense. Jimmy G's playing Seattle, one of the worst, maybe the worst passing defense in the NFL. If you are to change to somebody else, Jimmy G is the guy out of those that I do. But
last
I don't love Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, he was 20 of 25 last week with 277, but no touchdowns and 2 picks.
Crazy thing is like Deebo Samuel is out hurt, right?
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel is one of his, last week had 6, or not this week, the week before that he had 6 catches for 66 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel did not catch one pass beyond the line of scrimmage. He is averaging, it's just disgusting. He's averaging, his catch percentage is averaging negative 2.7 yards behind the line of scrimmage per catch of Deebo Samuel. They are giving, Jimmy Garoppolo is terrible. If I'm 49ers and Matt Ryan's available, I'm calling the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo just isn't the answer.
Or Matt Stafford.
Ooh,
he's another one I think I'd make a play for. Like he's just, we keep going back to him. I think he's just wasted in Detroit.
I love Matthew Stafford. He is one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. But back to Kane, I do not believe Atlanta trades Julio because in order to do so, you're going to pay a lot. Now,
I think it makes
Baltimore.
I think it makes. It depends on what they get. If they can get the value they need from that deal, I think it makes sense for Atlanta. I mean, you're not winning right now. He's not the youngest guy in the shed, even though he's still not dropping off.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you still got Ridley. You have Gage there.
Yeah, you can afford to lose him.
Yeah, so if you get...
I'd say that disgustingly. You can't ever afford to lose Julio. He's still better than
But, I mean, whenever you're terrible and you're not making the playoffs this year, I think it makes sense for their team.
Baltimore should call. Baltimore should be like, I'll give you a first this year, a future second.
I like it. But with Baltimore, I mean, they said, Brown, who isn't like a true. I mean, obviously he's not Julio.
They brought Des Bryant in.
Yeah.
They're hurting.
You got Devin Duvernay, who's a stud that just can't get involved. You have J.K. Dobbins, who's a stud. You just don't get him involved. I don't understand with Baltimore. Baltimore, I think, have so much talent. They just don't make an effort to get them involved.
This it might be a head scratcher. No, I guess also though my only question would be is with the Devin Duvernay and J.K. Dobbins, how well do they know the playbook? Because of the shortened off season, because of the lack of exposure they have with Lamar. Because look, I've seen Devin Duvernay make some plays. Kid's good. Kid's real good. J.K.'s made plays, but I also think it'll be interesting to see coming off a bye week.
Yeah, I love Devin Duvernay. Like I'm secretly, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I'm huge on Devin Duvernay. But man, it's just tough in that offense
absolutely.
just to get him involved. Kid's an athlete.
I think so. So back to the quarterback side. Matt Ryan at 12, I think is about fair. He could look. Matt Ryan's either going to go about right there.
I would say 12. He might sneak into the top 10.
Yeah.
I think he finishes around that 9 to 12 range.
Nothing else on the quarterback line really. Tua at 24 to me is actually a little high. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't like. I mean, I guess he probably has to go there with all the bye weeks. Heck, I don't put him. If Andy Dalton plays, I don't put him over Andy Dalton. The only reason I say that is his very first game of the year. His very first game of the year is against the Rams. I don't like that matchup for him. I really don't. I think that's a tough. I think that's just tough.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Brandon, Hunter Henry, or Evan Ingram.
Yikes. Okay, so Hunter Henry for me. I don't even need to look. I like Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram's a better talent. Evan Ingram is more explosive. Evan Ingram. But, so against Washington, man, he had a game-winning touchdown pass, hit his hands, and he dropped it in stride. Yeah. He was burning the safety. Hunter Henry comes in at tight end 7 this week, and Evan Ingram comes in tight end 15. Here's the other problem, the matchup.
I like Hunter Henry just because I like Justin Herbert throwing the ball.
Yep. But Daniel Jones isn't good.
No.
I have seen nothing from Daniel Jones this season that makes me think he should be the quarterback moving forward. Evans against Tampa Bay is a bad matchup. They play hard, they hit hard. You got Levante David, you have Devin White, bless you, you have Antoine Winfield Jr. Their team is quietly good. Look, they're going to make a Super Bowl run. I'm telling you. Tampa Bay, love it. Tight end rankings, since I'm already here, you got Kittle 1, Kelsey 2, Waller 3, Andrews 4. Jonnu Smith against Cincy 5. I think he could have a big week. I think Jonnu, but honestly, you don't question the top 4 or 5 there. Gronk at 6 against the Giants again. Could be a massive week. Giants stink. Yeah. You got Noah Fant at 8, Jimmy Graham at 10, Ebron at
Tight ends usually shake out pretty well with rankings. Not too hard to rank.
Yeah, because you have your top 4 that are, in my opinion, just phenomenal.
It's going to be like one of those 4 to be at the top.
Yep.
They're all going to be within that top 4 range, pretty much. But I would go with Hunter Henry on that one versus Ingram. Just based on quarterback play and how good the team is. Mm-hmm. I like Hunter Henry more.
You want to jump to running backs?
The only other quarterback for me is Ben Roethlisberger at 19 against Baltimore. Like, Baltimore does have a good defense, but you gotta get. I'm not even a Pittsburgh fan, but you gotta give Big Ben a little more love than that.
Top 12, I think.
Yeah, I think he comes in way more on the front end of the,
No matter how good their defenses are, I think that the NFL just favors high scoring. This isn't the Pittsburgh of 10 years ago and Baltimore of 10 years ago.
Right. There's just not going to be a lot of shutouts anymore.
No, there's going to be scoring in this game. Big Ben's going to have to pass to win. Yeah. This is a question from Josh Deddy. You think Johnson playing helps Juju get out of his funk?
I don't know.
So Juju had a decent game, I think it was last week. I just don't think Juju's the best wide receiver on that team. He might be the 3rd best. Yeah. Part of it's he's hurt. I think Johnson playing only hurts Chase Claypool. Yeah. But I think it helps Juju. I think it can because you can't focus as much on Juju. So, yes, I think Juju can have a good game, but I don't know that Juju's top 10 wide receiver period.
Yeah.
Part of it's he's hurt, and I do think he's playing through an injury because he wants to play to earn his contract.
Right.
That contract's not in Pittsburgh. It's you got Deontay Johnson, you have Chase Claypool, you have James Washington. I believe they move on from Juju after this year. I don't want them to. Oh, I mean, I do. I take that back. I don't like Pittsburgh. But I think it hurts Chase Claypool the most that Deontay Johnson's back.
Oh, for sure. I think just with target-wise, Juju had 14 targets. Deontay had 15 targets. Both had 9 receptions. Both had over 80 yards, but Johnson had the 2 touchdowns. Juju didn't have any.
And then
Claypool came in with the 1 target, 1 reception, minus 2 yards. So, I think for sure, I don't know if it really helps or hurts Juju too much. I think their teams are still going to kind of treat him as the number 1 wide receiver. But I think it hurts Claypool way more.
I think,
unfortunately.
Is that Brandon suggesting that Juju to Philly and then Josh Juju to Green Bay?
Oh, man.
Either one's a either one to me is a better option than him being in Pittsburgh. I just think he needs a fresh start. I think there was too much on him after the AB departure. Too much of a comparison, too much of a weight of the world on his shoulders.
Right.
And then he has to play a season with Mason Rudolph. That's unfair to anybody.
That's a struggle.
But Juju to Green Bay would be phenomenal for his career. I feel like he would complement Devontae Adams very well. I would love that move. When does Jalen Hurts get to play? He doesn't play this season. I think they've showed you they're sticking with Carson Wentz.
No matter what, they're sticking with Carson.
Let me back. Carson Wentz getting hurt. Okay, so Jalen Wentz will be in there at some point. Or Jalen Hurts, I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts will be in there at some point. I just don't know.
If it's me, just purely, if I'm the owner, I'm just putting Jalen Hurts in. But again, I'm just not sold on Wentz as a quarterback. Green Bay needs to take the leap and get Juju and
William Fuller the fifth. I believe I talked to you about it. I think William Fuller, they've emerged as a trade. They've asked about him. If I'm Green Bay, I think William Fuller's a beautiful fit for William Fuller. Green Bay is a beautiful marriage. He gives Aaron Rodgers the deep threat that Valdez Scantling isn't because Valdez Scantling can't catch it. He drops it. Will Fuller would be great. If they get Will Fuller on that team, I love Green Bay's chances because that's the only thing they're missing is a complementary piece. So you want to? We're going to jump into running backs on you guys.
Yep.
Derrick Henry 1. Come on, he plays
Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, he might be like 1A.
Yeah. He might be 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, put him let's put Derrick Henry at the 1 and the 2. Everybody, the guy might score enough for 3 running backs this week.
Man.
Derrick
Henry, I'm upset because I play him in a league, 2 leagues this week.
I mean, they're probably going to be up big on them, so they're going to feed him the ball. I mean, the dude might get 30 carries, especially against that defense. Now Dunlop out of there. Wow. I mean, 200. I'm calling 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. 200 yards and 3 touchdowns.
BS. I'm going BS just because I hope they don't.
Nah.
I hope they throw the ball.
Nah.
Throw the ball.
Well, they're going to need to. They're going to be up 27-3 in the first quarter.
Oh, my God. You hear this, Cincy fans? You hear this, Cincy fans?
Listen,
oh, my Lord.
I'm a Bengals fan, but that defense, and then you take Dunlop out of there, and you just have Derrick Henry. I mean, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good.
I don't
Nick Chubb, Dunlap played at times. Now,
either way, you can say that defense didn't.
Geno Atkins might not play. God, who's the other deep tackle you guys signed? Phenomenal player. Oh my God, what's his name?
I don't even know.
I don't either.
But
he hasn't played.
Derrick Henry
goes
off.
I agree. I actually can't call BS on the 200 yards. I'll call BS on the 3 touchdowns. I think it's 2.
What BS on 3?
Whoa!
It's 2.
Not happening. All right, so you got Kamara at 2, Aaron Jones at 3. Guys, be careful. Aaron Jones again is on the injury report, not practicing, and they said they are going to take their time with this calf injury. Interesting stuff is going on in Green Bay. Here's why I say this is because Devontae Adams came out and said, "Hey, I could play with this injury. It's not that bad. I've played through worse." Aaron Jones said last week, "Hey, I can play through this injury. It's not even bad." But here Green Bay is again telling these stars, "Hey, we're not going to play you. We're going to just take our time. We're not going to play you." what's Matt LaFleur doing? Does he just feel like he doesn't need Aaron Jones against Minnesota? Or is he like, hey, Aaron Jones is on a contract year.
Yeah.
Do I wait and see what I have? Let me play Jamal Williams. Let me play A.J. Dillon. Or is it just simply, let me make sure Aaron Jones is 100% healthy and get him ready for the playoffs, rather than risking a bigger injury to a calf string?
Could be.
I don't know.
I'm in with, if it's me, I make those decisions like they're making. Because I'm a huge proponent of not risking it.
Saints have done with Michael Thomas.
Yeah, it helps you in the short term, but if I'm NFL teams, I'm playing the long term.
Yeah.
Even a contract year, like I said, if you're still in it and you're thinking about making the playoffs, I would much rather not have Aaron Jones against the Vikings,
Absolutely.
and then to have him later in the season, than to try to put him in versus the Vikings. He gets injured and misses the rest of the season.
Right.
Risk per reward, not worth it to me, especially when you have backup.
Right. Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Jamal Williams in there, and even Dillon in there. You get him some touches,
Yep.
which would be valuable. And with Aaron Rodgers, the way he's throwing the ball,
Yep.
I think you need Aaron Jones.
I agree. I think you hold Aaron Jones out. I don't, but I'm just, for fantasy-wise, guys, watch it.
Yeah, watch the designation.
Yeah, so then you got Kareem Hunt at 4 against Vegas. I like it. Kareem Hunt's been great. Dalvin Cook at 5 against Green Bay. It's a tough matchup, but it's Dalvin Cook. They're going to have no choice but to use him, unless they get down early. It's the only way Dalvin Cook doesn't finish top 5, in which they can get down real early because they have one of their starting cornerbacks out on COVID.
Here we go.
Okay.
Every week we do it. Number 7, Josh Jacobs.
All right, listen. I'm going to tell you one more time.
Averaging 1.7 yards per carry last week.
Stop putting Josh Jacobs in the top 10.
Just stop.
Quit.
Just stop it.
He's running back 14 right now. He's running back
And that's only
14.
because they have the 2 big games.
Yeah, and if he doesn't have those 2 big games, his stats are trash.
Oh, he's like running back 30.
Yeah, if that. Like, we're talking 10-point games, 7-point games, 6-point. It gets bad. Josh Jacobs is playing bad. He has all the talent in the world to play big time, but he's just playing bad. I don't know. Don't like it. Josh Jacobs, you're not in my top 10. You're not in my top 15. Well, I'll put you 15 just because, you have the potential. And you're playing Cleveland, okay? I'm not a Cleveland fan. Zeke is 6 against Philly. That's,
I mean, he'll have to be if they want to have any chance of winning, but I don't know if he gets there.
I agree.
Well, I think CEH at number 10 against the Jets. Who are not good.
So, again, I don't think it's too high of a ranking. The only reason that it ever is the lack of usage.
Agree.
I don't know what they're doing. It frustrates me because it happens to my boy JT. I don't understand the usage of these top tier young running backs. Like,
I don't know, man.
You gotta give them more than 8 carries.
I feel like in the NFL, I think what it's shown me, especially this year, was so much talent. With the rookies and some of them just not like with like JK, guys like that who you have the talent and you could benefit from that talent and just not using it. I feel like it's still the stigma of being a rookie in the NFL hurts you.
And the lack of an offseason.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
just
worst
like,
thing for any rookie this
he's
year.
a rookie, we'll use him, but we're not going to rely on him, we'll go elsewhere. And it's like, but if the talent's there, why not?
Absolutely. Craig says Richie Incognito is coming back soon, which will help Josh Jacobs. Something has to.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah. Until I see it consistent. Till Josh Jacobs finishes top 10 3 weeks in a row.
Ooh.
Get out of here with it.
Until Josh Jacobs, for me, puts back-to-back 20-point games on the board. He's not a top 10, top 7 running back. He's not. He is nowhere near the caliber of Zeke, Cook, Kamara, Henry, any of those guys. He's not a Barkley. He's not a Calf. If I'm redrafting this year, he's a 3rd-round running back for me at best.
Yeah.
Like, just 100%. There's wide receivers I would rather take over him today.
Yeah.
I'm still taking, Michael Thomas over him today. Because I just think that Josh Jacobs has shown that as I sit here and I'm like, I think he has the ability. Man, he's had the opportunity.
Yeah, that's true. He's been one where it is like, man, he has the ability, but you can't say, he's only been given 8, like with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, only getting 8 carries, 10 carries. He gets low ball.
Clyde's getting 8 carries for 48 yards. Josh Jacobs begging to average that. Josh Jacobs gets 20 carries and hits 50 yards, and he's like, that's a good game.
Good game.
That's not a good game. What are you playing, Josh Jacobs?
Good for him.
Get out of here. Get it? Ooh, I swear.
Who else you got?
So you got Todd Gurley at 9, Mike Davis at
Don't
8.
hate that.
Don't hate either one of them. James Conner at 11 against Baltimore. Ooh. The only way James Conner get there, I believe, is he will either break off a big run like he did against Denver, or he catches like 5-6 passes. That's the way James Conner gets
I
there.
think it's possible. I think both of those are possibilities.
Don't hate it. Tough matchup though. Miles Gaskins against the Rams. No, he's not going to be running back 12. You know, again, the reason I say this is because I don't know what Tua is.
Right.
Like if Tua comes out and he's impressive like these other rookies, okay, I don't need 12. But if they can load the box and shut Miles Gaskin down, Miles Gaskin's going to need 10 catches to be a top 12 running back this week.
Well, I mean, with the way he's received the ball, and you got to think with a rookie quarterback, he's probably going to want to check the ball down.
See, and again,
It's a tough one.
I'm not a Tua guy, but I don't know that Tua checked the ball down a whole lot in college.
It just depends on with NFL.
Right,
I
well,
don't think they're even going to call a lot of plays to have him here.
I mean, I see it every week with Josh Allen where he refuses to check down. Like, refuses.
Right.
And I think Tua's going to come out, feel a little bit pressed. I think he'll throw the ball, check down, but I don't know. Miles Gaskin against that nice Rams defense at 12, that's tough.
Yep.
Boston Scott at 13, like it.
Yeah, especially against Dallas.
Jonathan Taylor at 14. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to hope and pray that Frank White gets out of his way and give my man more than 50% of the running back snaps. Okay, I'm tired of it. Been a rough year for me with that.
He's hurt. On the inside.
David Montgomery at 15. Oh, God, against the Saints. Look, David Montgomery's somebody that I think is good. Their line's bad. Nick Foles is bad. They're going to get down, I believe, quick, especially because my boy Mike Thomas is probably back this week. I think that David Montgomery doesn't go top 15. I just don't think so. I like David Montgomery. There's always that potential because he catches it a lot. But golly, that team stinks.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They're the worst 5-2 team. What is it? Are they 5-2? I believe so. 5-2 team in the NFL. Like
pulling them out, man.
Like, how does it happen? I don't even get it. So you got Joe Mixon 16. He probably isn't playing. Ronald Jones at 17. I don't know what to make of that Tampa backfield. You got Jones at 17, Fournette at 20.
Right.
Ooh, I don't know. I really don't know.
I feel like I'm comfortable with that, especially going through the rest of the season. And either one could have a big game, top 15, top 10. But if they're both healthy, this is why I didn't buy into Rojo earlier, because he was really good. If he's the only guy back there, love him.
Better.
But you're just not going to not play Leonard Fournette.
I think he's as good as or better than Fournette.
I would agree.
Because what he does with the ball in his hands, Andy stays healthy.
Yeah.
Andy catches, Andy blocks, and Leonard Fournette, I mean, if the guy stays healthy, he's a great talent.
Yeah.
But man, if you're Ronald Jones, how disrespected do you got to feel
to
come out and be out-touched by Leonard Fournette when before the game you were the second best running back yards after contact, only behind Derrick Henry? That's impressive.
I feel for him.
Feel bad for Ronald Jones. Then you got Darrell Henderson at 18. I don't mind that. Might be a little high. Melvin Gordon at 19. Not a fan of Melvin Gordon, but it's a revenge game against the Chargers. He better bring it. Better not. No 2 fumbles this week.
Right.
Hey, look, if Phillip Lindsay's healthy, Phillip Lindsay's my running back in Denver. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
I think Phillip Lindsay's better. I think Phillip Lindsay has a burst, a speed. The only thing I'd like to see, the only thing I'd like to see Denver do is get Phillip Lindsay involved more in my passing game. That's it. You got DeAndre Swift at 21. Again, that's another situation. Matt Patricia just won't get his funk off of it,
especially against Indy.
Tough defense. Yeah. The only way, again, he gets that is catching the ball, and that's a huge thing for running backs. God, if you're not playing in a PPR league, I don't know that you start DeAndre Swift. Like, if you're playing in a standard scoring league,
I would be nervous.
Yeah, I don't think DeAndre Swift is a starter this week. If you're not, Devin Singletary at 28 is a no-go. I don't play Devin Singletary.
I'm out. If you had him, I hope you sold him. I think starting now at the halfway point, Zach Moss is now healthy.
Yep.
I think you're going to see the emergence of Zach Moss as the year goes on. It's been more like when they play, it's been around a 50-50 split.
Yep.
But I think as the year goes on, Devin Singletary gets fewer carries, Zach Moss gets more.
A couple guys listed below Singletary that I like better is Gus Edwards all the way down Gus Edwards is like all the way down here at 47.
JK's at 40.
Chance that Mark Ingram doesn't play. Gus Edwards is shown to be the best looking running back in my opinion when he gets the guy. JK has the better talent by far.
But as far as if you're just looking at carries and what they've done with this year, Gus Edwards has been the most productive.
Part of it's the system he's comfortable in.
Yeah.
Part of it's the playing with Lamar he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
But if JK gets a chance, look, if JK gets 10 to 15 carries, ooh, big day for JK.
Yeah.
Even against Pittsburgh, I think JK has the explosiveness, the shiftiness, the receiving ability to really cause some problems for Pittsburgh, especially with Devin Bush out.
Right.
Going down the running back list, there's nobody else that really stands out to me.
I agree.
Watch Tevin Coleman coming back off of IR for 49ers, big time for them. Losing Jeff Wilson Jr., losing Raheem Mostert. They don't have a running back that stays healthy, but whatever running back starts, balls out.
All right, you ready to go to wide receivers?
Let's jump to them. Wide receivers.
Good.
This is
Number
it
one,
for us, guys.
Devontae, I'm good with.
Oh, Keenan. Oh, my God.
Keenan Allen might be a little high against Denver, number 2 for me.
What a ranking for Keenan Allen.
That is intriguing.
Wow. His lowest projection is by Matthew Berry at wide receiver 5. That's still impressive. I think it's just his rapport with Herbert. That just has to be what it is.
Yeah, and just how much he's been going to him.
Tyler Lockett at 3. Oh boy. Okay, they're high on my boy Lockett. Well, he ain't my boy, but
I mean, hey.
You get 20 targets a game. My Lord.
I mean,
he would have had 17 catches too if it wasn't for 2 drops. Like
I think they're gonna have to throw the I mean, gosh. Can't count them out.
So Craig said Mark Ingram went off last season and that helped Jackson for sure. 100% agree.
Yeah.
Mark Ingram had a great year. I think it was the last he had in the gas tank, Craig. But I think Gus Edwards is a phenomenal back. I think J.K. Dobbins is a special back. I'm a Buckeye, so I'm biased. But what I saw out of J.K., a Lamar Jackson system is perfect for him because that's what you ran at Ohio State for years.
Exactly.
Back to the wide receivers, you got Julio at 4. Love it. I'm in on Julio every day, all day. Him and Christian McCaffrey are 2 of my favorite players in the NFL. They're no nonsense. They're no drama. They come out, they play. Don't matter if there's contract issues. Doesn't matter if they're hurt. Doesn't matter what it is.
Well, that and just from a fantasy perspective, it's rare that they're going to finish outside the top 10, even the top 5. I mean, they're 2 solid must-start guys.
And I just love those guys. Yeah, love Julio. He's my guy.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf at 5. Again, I don't hate it. Seattle throws the ball a ton. DK is a special talent. Honestly, like that. My favorite play of the week last week, even though they lost, is watching him chase down Budda Baker. Like
that was legit.
Then Budda Baker goes on the sideline. He's asking him, "How the f did he catch me?" Like
fast.
And he would have had a nice long touchdown catch if there wouldn't have been holding. DK Metcalf's special. He to me is like a Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones baby.
I think you take Tyler Lockett out of Seattle and DK Metcalf finishes the year top 3.
Ooh, okay.
Easily.
I think they're both top 10. I think they're both top 10.
I think right now, but you take Tyler Lockett out to where DK's the guy.
I think it showed you, Arizona, how much they believe DK's better than Lockett, that they shadowed him all night with Patrick Peterson and safety help. Yep. And they let Tyler Lockett catch the ball 15 for 200 and 3 touchdowns. Yep. Because if DK wasn't going off, they knew they could contain him.
Yep.
Look, DK's special. I think DK gets that route tree down. He's phenomenal. Got Tyreek Hill at 6. The only way that gets disrupted
is if they score too much.
They're up too much.
They're up like last week. Like I said, I mean, their defense is scoring touchdowns, getting all these turnovers. They just might not need to use them. So that's the only fear there.
Michael Thomas, practice today. Don't tweak nothing. Don't punch nobody. Don't pull anything.
Didn't disrespect any
Go
coaches.
home. Don't stop at Chick-fil-A. Don't stop and get nothing at the gas station. Go home. Get straight home. No fights at practice. No fights at home. Michael Thomas, I want to see you on that field Sunday, buddy. Because if you're there, wide receiver 7's selling you low. You're going to tear Fuller up. You're going to tear up Jalen Johnson. You, sir, are ready to come back and play. Because I think the world's forgot how good Michael Thomas is. Michael Thomas is good. I can't wait to see him if he's back. But wide receiver 7, I think Michael Thomas has a chance to be better. You have Adam Thielen at wide receiver 8. What do you think? With Kirk Cousins against Green Bay, he's probably going to be shadowed by Jahari Alexander, who held Calvin Ridley to 0 catches.
It's just tough to count out on Thielen. I feel like Green Bay's defense, yes, good. They're going to have to throw the ball and score because Green Bay, I think, is going to light them up. I'm still not going to call BS on. I think he can get there.
So,
I think 8 to 10.
I hate it because, like,
I tell you the truth, maybe even, well, I don't know. Because maybe I like
Justin Jefferson or Thielen.
Doesn't say maybe Justin Jefferson outscores him just for the fact that, like you said, Thielen's going to be shadowed, number 1 guy.
Yep.
They're going to have to throw the ball. I might like Justin Jefferson better than Thielen.
If they play Thielen, or if they play Alexander on Thielen the whole game,
right?
I prefer Justin Jefferson.
If
honestly, if I have the option with the 2, I'm starting Justin Jefferson over Thielen. You start both, actually, because you just have to. Justin Jefferson's proven his game. His ceiling is so high, Justin Jefferson, but his floor is rock bottom as well. That's the scary part. You might get 2 points out of him, but you might get 40. Like, that's where Justin Jefferson is. It's impressive, though.
Yeah.
Looking at it here, then you've got Robinson at 9. He's in concussion protocol, so that'll be interesting.
Ooh, you got one here. A.J. Brown at number 12 against Cincinnati.
I'm going to put this phone down. Listen here.
Ooh.
If he plays, he's top 5 against Cincinnati. He's questionable right now, but look, come on. Cincinnati's secondary sucks. I don't know who needs to hear that. I don't know if there's any Bengals fans on here, or if we scared them all away.
Hey, I am a Bengals fan.
William Jackson might be back from concussion, right? So I guess there is a chance that A.J. Brown doesn't go off. Whoa. But A.J. Brown catches a pass, he can go 80 yards. And he doesn't need much room. I love A.J. Brown. He's definitely better than top 12. I think he's top 10.
I think he's top 10.
I think he's top 10 the rest of the year. I think he's a top 10 wide receiver the rest of the year.
I have to see what his health is like. If he's healthy, yes.
Okay, so and that's
if these injuries aren't nagging, because he was kind of dealing with it, he thought, and then he went off last week. So as long as he is legitimately healthy,
I want to put it on mute. His last 3 games, he's put up over 20 points each time. I want to put it on mute because I want to trade for him.
I already talked about that. I already said it. What are you talking about? Clyde Edwards-Helaire out there for A.J. Brown. What are you talking about?
Oh, a phenomenal trade. That would be a good trade for both. Tyler Boyd at 13 against Tennessee. Look, I think Tyler Boyd's ceiling's higher. I think he has top 10 potential every game. The only thing that would hurt Tyler Boyd is if A.J. Green keeps emerging. Because A.J. Green's bounced back. Look, I tried to buy A.J. Green up. I tried to get my kidney for him, and I got turned down. And then he gets traded for, I don't even remember what, a bag of Skittles. Like, my kidney was more valuable. Maybe. Calvin Ridley at 14. Wow.
It's kind of low.
That's a little disrespectful.
Yeah.
I think he's better than that. I think him, Julio, all have a pretty good night. I think they upset Carolina in a pretty good game.
Yep.
DJ Moore at 15. Again, I think he'll do better than Robbie Anderson tonight. Robbie Anderson's at 11.
Yeah.
Am I wrong for that prediction?
No, I like it, especially as much as he's emerged the last 2 weeks. Starting to catch some touchdowns in there, getting the yards. Still hasn't clipped the 100 the last 3 games. It was like 93 yards the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think he's getting more and more comfortable. I think he booms there.
Here's somebody I think bust. Amari Cooper comes in at wide receiver 16. Crazy I'm saying this because he plays Philly. He's going to be shadowed by Darius Slay all night.
Right.
Darius Slay will, I think, contain him also because they're playing with Ben DiNucci. Ben DiNucci is a third-string quarterback from James Madison.
Right.
I don't even know how he's on a roster. He looked okay coming in against Washington. Wasn't impressive. The pass rush will get to him. You need Zeke to have a big game for that to be possible. Jamison Crowder at 17.
Against KC.
Yeah, he's going to have to get catches.
I think he's mid-teens.
I don't hate it. Yeah, I don't hate that.
I'd say 14.
Travis Fulgham at 18 for Philly. I think against Dallas, I think could be better.
Yeah, I think he can boom that. Which again, at the beginning of the season, people were like, if you would ask who Tyler Fulgham was when the season started, I don't know who that is. But now it's like, hey, because everybody else is hurt.
Jalen Reagor's who you thought would be the guy. Now Jalen Reagor is back.
Yeah.
That's
one I didn't buy into him too much on the waiver wire, just because there's a lot of guys like Alshon.
Yeah, when everybody's back healthy.
I like it. He's great now, but I just think when those guys come back, I do not see him being started over them, just from an NFL perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of Deontay
Johnson
at 20 versus Baltimore?
Look,
What do you think? Great game last week.
So he went out with the bum bruise. He didn't practice. Got a fan question real quick. I picked up Sterling Shepard because I'm done with T.Y. Hilton unless he gets traded to the Packers. Hey, Sterling Shepard came back first game, had, I believe it was like 5 or 6 catches, 50-some yards, and a touchdown. Looked like the most polished receiver on the Giants. I think that's not bad.
I like that 100%.
I actually think Sterling Shepard's playable.
Yeah.
If you need to. He's a playable flex. If he's your secondary wide receiver, I'm sorry.
Right.
Coming up bye week, Sterling Shepard's a nice little sneaky play if he stays healthy. I believe he's always shown talent, but he never stays healthy. I think that's why Giants were easily okay to get rid of OBJ. Not that Sterling Shepard is as good as OBJ,
Right.
but he shows flashes that he's solid. So, going down the list, Deontay Johnson at 20. I actually like him higher than that if he's healthy because he can burn. He's a baby AB. Like, Kerry Colbert did it again. He went out and drafted, the wide receiver he's drafted outside of the first round, Deontay Johnson, Juju, James Washington, Chase Claypool. He just has an eye for wide receivers. It's impressive. Here's your boy, Justin Jefferson at 21.
I think that's low. I mean,
I agree.
it's tough right now because it's such a small sample size. He has had some low games, single-digit games. Man, I just feel like they're going to have to pass the ball. I think Thielen is going to be the clear number one. I think, especially matchup-wise. Now, if Jefferson faces a real tough pass defense or maybe somebody that you feel like they're going to blow out, maybe drop him down to the 20s because that's possible. But I just think with this game, I like him better than down that low. For sure.
I really like Jefferson.
I mean, there's still that potential where he doesn't boom, but man, even if that kid catches 2 or 3 balls, he can break it.
In all honesty, if he doesn't have a big game, they're not even close. They're not even close, in my opinion, to Green Bay this week.
Yeah. If he doesn't have a big game, I mean, Kirk Cousins, that whole offense is going to be bad.
Yep.
I mean, that just means Kirk Cousins is getting hit 2 seconds, as soon as the ball snapped. If he gets any kind of time, I think Jefferson has a good game.
Yep. So then you got Cooper Kupp 22. Don't hate. There's no boom in the Rams right now. They're winning games defensively, and they're just doing enough on offense.
And that's the tough thing with Woods and Kupp matchup. Normally even the normal floor that would be there has been a little tough, just because, like you said, they're kind of winning it with the defense, not having to use the offense as much. And just the boom potential is the tough thing there. I just don't see the ceiling there is tough.
Yeah.
One of them might have a 20-point game here and there. I think Kupp might have touched 25 points once this year.
Yeah.
But I think they're both around that 8 to 15, 16-point range.
They've underperformed where I thought they would. Now Woods will be sneaky and end up in the top 15 this year. He seems to every year.
Especially with the rushing they've been giving him. A couple of rushing touchdowns. Each game, feel like he gets 3 or 4 rushing attempts, which I never really saw coming. But
Cooper Kupp at wide receiver 4 last year to end the season.
Yeah.
To come out and have the year he's having but he got paid.
Paid.
You pay these men.
And they don't use him.
And then they just, I don't know what's going on. So,
yeah.
Mike Evans at 23.
Against the Giants.
Yeah, man. I think he's got a better chance than that.
Yeah, I don't love him as like a top 5 or even maybe not even top 10, but
because James Bradbury will shadow him.
Yeah, and you just don't know what's going to do with AB back.
Yeah.
Scotty Miller had a good game. Gronk is coming on. I think that offense is going to be a case, kind of like KC. If not, I think it's going to be worse than KC, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Just when you look at think of viable options in that offense.
Yep.
Evans. Godwin, AB's going to be there.
Gronk.
Scotty Miller, Gronk,
Fournette,
Howard, Great, Fournette.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It just goes on and on.
There's so many. Any
Kyler Johnson.
Yeah, at that point, you really all you got to do is test out each player and find out who's working best against the team and just ride that player.
Yep.
Matchup based. So it's tough for me, but I think he gets better than that.
Well, that's some big news right
there. You got
there.
some breaking news
This
here?
isn't involved. This isn't not involving the NFL.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence
tested positive
for COVID.
COVID-19.
Yikes.
What's that even going to be?
That's interesting, man.
I don't know what the protocol is in college football. What is
It depends on it's different per conference. Like the Big Ten, if you test positive, you got to sit out 21 days.
Man.
Other conferences is 10. So that's interesting. Like in the Big Ten, you miss 3 games. Very interesting.
Post that on the page.
Yeah, that's huge. That's crazy. Does Trevor Lawrence? Wow, man. Now I'm getting totally off topic though. Does Trevor Lawrence just consider maybe opting out, like depending on how long he has to sit out? No. Well, I take that back. The only reason I take that back is because if he does, he might end up playing for the Jets. And
yeah,
that ain't happening. Look,
he said he's going to come back another year.
Yeah.
So if the Jets have number 1 pick, he's coming back another year.
Wow, that's crazy, man. First major player to test positive for COVID in NFL or college.
Yeah.
Nice, Matty Ice and Julio lining up early. That's what I love to hear. Julio's my boy. Thanks for keeping us informed, Craig.
Tell your friends, Craig, we will not steer you wrong.
Nah, man, we're here for you guys. No, back in the rankings, you got Marquise Brown 25. I think that's fair. He's not done what I thought he would do. T. Higgins at 26 is somebody that I think can boom past that. T. Higgins has been the I almost said the most surprising wide receiver rookie, but Brandon Ayuk and Justin Jefferson are there.
Yeah.
T. Higgins is phenomenal. Yeah, Wisconsin's first, second, and third string QBs are out, and they had to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
Crazy. But the Big Ten screwed up, and I'm sorry we're off topic again, but the Big Ten screwed up with the way that they pushed the season back. Man. Yeah, man, that's what we're here for, sports talk. We love it all. But the Big Ten really screwed the pooch here because now Wisconsin takes a loss. Now I believe it's Nebraska doesn't get to play anybody this weekend, and they tried to get an FCS school in there, Chattanooga, and Big Ten said no.
Negatory.
Okay, so back in the rankings, T. Higgins, 26. Love him. T. Higgins has been special. He's been great. Phenomenal pickup. Love that pick for Cincy. Jarvis Landry at 27.
I think he's better than that, especially with OBJ out.
Top 15?
I would say around there, potential to be between the 12 and 15.
So if you have Jarvis Landry and Cooper Kupp, who do you start? This is your flex spot. We're just pretending this is your flex spot. Chances are, though, you drafted Cooper Kupp to be a starter.
Yeah, I think just based on where you drafted, I mean, I don't know. Because
opportunity-wise, I think it's Landry.
I think it's,
I think they're, and this is horrible to say, I'm sorry to cut you off.
I would say Landry.
They are a better team without OBJ. Because Baker is not somebody, in my opinion, who handles those personalities. OBJ needs a Tom Brady. OBJ needs an Aaron Rodgers. Somebody who is the alpha male, whose chain swings lower than OBJ's.
Yeah.
Like, they need somebody along those lines to keep OBJ in. Put him in Baltimore even, and I think Baltimore could handle OBJ.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield as a second-year pro, third-year pro, is not ready to handle OBJ. I will go back to it again where he throws a touchdown pass a few weeks ago to Harrison Bryant. He goes up and he apologizes to OBJ and Jarvis Landry, and he tells them they'll get theirs. That is never something a quarterback should have to do. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
As soon as I'm the GM and I see that footage, I ask my franchise quarterback, because that's what they view Baker as.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the problem here? Like, but whatever.
Yeah.
Then you go down the list. Juju at 29. Don't hate it. I think that's where he's at.
Yeah, especially with Deontay coming on. Claypool is going to get more involved.
Yep.
I don't think you'll see that type of target share going forward. I think he'll still get 5. He'll get 5 or 6 of those.
Yep.
And I don't think they're going to come away from Deontay as much as they're going to come away from Juju.
Correct. Got AJ Green at 30. I always think he can do better than that. Here's the interesting, Craig. Sterling Shepard 31. So the fantasy world is listing him very highly, like up there with AJ, Juju, Brandon Ayuk, Jarvis Landry type of worlds. Again, Sterling Shepard, nice piece. Cole Beasley, 32. He's on pace for over 1,000-yard season, like 80, 90 catches.
I love Cole Beasley. I had him and then I dropped him. But I like Cole Beasley. I added him and then dropped him on the waiver wire.
Yeah.
I like Cole Beasley. I think that guy is super underrated.
Agreed.
Especially with the emergence of Josh Allen has helped him a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like Cole Beasley.
So just going down through this list, just one more guy that stands out to me. 2 guys. You got Rashard Higgins in Cleveland, and you got Tim Patrick in Denver.
Yes.
You're all in on Tim Patrick. He's on his team. You bought right. I think last week was a little bit rough because Kansas City, they played in a blizzard in Denver.
Yeah. I like him just from what I've seen, and especially the reason why I bought into him more than others is because Cortland Sutton's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And it's looking
And
like
that team
Drew
misses
Lock. Yeah, and Drew Lock, it looks like out of all the other wide receivers, I feel like he was kind of the go-to.
Yep.
So again, last week, I mean, not a great game. I think he dropped or there was another pass that didn't hook up on that could have been big. But still didn't have a huge game.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see how he does this week. So yeah, we'll
Absolutely.
we'll see where he's at. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to be like a top 20 guy.
But he's a plug and play guy.
Yeah, I think he is. He's the ability to. I don't think he's going to win you any weeks, but I don't know how much he's going to lose you.
But I think Rashard Higgins is similar, but I think he has a nice upside because, like, if you look at what Baker's done with him last week after losing OBJ, 6 receptions, 6 targets, 110 yards.
Yeah.
Week before that, he had 1 reception on 2 targets, 13 yards, and a touchdown. Week before that, he had 3 targets, 3 receptions, 31 yards, and a touchdown. So Baker sees him. So yeah, I'm a fan. Rashard Higgins. I'm a fan of Tim Patrick going forward. Like, let's go. So I like both of them. So
all right, man.
That it for us, man.
I think that's it.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks for the interaction tonight. Appreciate you guys coming